Hey guys, let me know if I'm coming in okay here. I'm here in the Catskills, and the connection is not so good. But let me know if I'm coming in okay, and then I'll start. Hey, I just want to redo this video because I feel like I was talking to you guys. I mean, people supposedly heard me, but I feel like I was talking to you guys, you know, from the car. It was a little bit loud, so I just want to make sure I came through. So, something that I noticed, and I think I mentioned this before to you guys in passing, that, there's something going on in Israel right now. Something actually amazing going on in Israel. And that is, people are uniting. There are people who, you look at them, who have kippah and tzitzit, and they daven and they learn Torah, and but then you talk to them, and it's not just about this issue, that what that I'm talking about, but even before that, you talk to them and you wonder, is Hashem even kind of present in the conversation? Is there a God? The minister from Coming to America used to say, "There's a God somewhere." Is there a God somewhere in this case? And you wonder where that is. And and then there's some people you talk to who don't look Orthodox or frum or anything of the sort, and no Shabbos and no kosher, no nothing, no Torah, but they are very, very spiritually connected, right? And it's interesting, guys, throughout this whole thing, you look at the people who are coming out to the protests, you basically have situations where you have, let's say, a rabbi that stands up there, he starts talking, like my friend Hanania Weissman, or like Rabbi Anava, whether they talk on stage, whether they talk in Zoom or in a class, wherever they're talking, and they get up there, and, the audience is mostly not ostensibly religious. You look at them, you look at them and you see that these are people that are not going to find themselves at a shiur, at a Torah lecture or anything. They would not find themselves sitting and listening to a rabbi on any topic, much less, this topic. And it's incredible. And then you actually talk to them. Some of these people voted for probably Meretz and Labor and Yesh Atid, and we like to think of them as Erev Rav and whatever it is, but and you talk to them and you realize that these people actually have a greater understanding of being connected to something greater than man-made institutions and the government and government directives and even rabbis, actually, guys, and even rabbis. I mean, these people are not going to be following rabbis anyway. And honestly, guys, I think that it's at this point, unless a rabbi is doing it for the right, so to speak, the right reasons, or advising people, unless you can actually discern that there's a person who's coming from a Torah lens that is advising people based in a pure way, ultimately, I don't really recommend listening to these people, guys. I really don't recommend. They say aseh lecha rav, make for yourself a rav, but guys, I'll tell you, today, it's like Rabbi Anava said, we don't even have leaders. We're the generation of a dog. The face of our generation is the face of a dog. And we have dogs leading us around. It's like when you look at a dog is walking ahead of the owner, ahead of the person, human walking it, and it looks like the dog is leading the human, not the human leading the dog, right? Because the dog's in front of it. My friends, that's who we have leading us today, for the most part. I'm not saying all rabbis. Don't get me wrong. But that's who we have leading us today. And, and I'll tell you guys, um, I'm looking around and I just see people uniting, just like I saw people uniting with. I mentioned this, the whole thing with musicians in Israel. You have these musicians, these ostensibly religious musicians who are giving concerts, who are playing alongside of secular musicians, where most of the crowd, you have a guy like Evyatar Banai, he goes up, and Yishai Ribo as well. They hold concerts, right, in like Tel Aviv and Barbie in Tel Aviv. It's like a grimy hipster lefty club in Florentine. The guy's got a kippah and tzitzit, and people are coming to hear him sing about. I mean, it's essentially about God and Mashiach and Hashem. They just don't know it. So maybe some of them do. Maybe some of them, that's how they get interested in these concepts, because a lot of their words are like, Kabbalah. They're singing about Yeridat Adorot. They're singing about, Sefirot. They're singing about all these things that, like, otherwise these people wouldn't hear. And they're using music to bring the Torah to the people. My friends, it's almost making me welt up. This is something that's already a herald of what's to come. This is a herald of, the Beit HaMikdash, the temple that's going to be built with the Levim outside singing, the praises of Hashem. I mean, it's going to come with song, my friends. It's going to come with song and Tehillim, psalms, which are meant to be sung, and instruments and all these kind of things. Guys, I mean, and you look at that and you realize that, like, there are things that are happening on the ground in Israel, in the Jewish world, in Israel particularly, which fly in the face of what the media is pushing in Israel, and what the Israeli version of Hollywood is pushing, and what they would like to happen. What Lieberman would like to happen, what all these politicians would like to happen. There's a lot of things happening on the ground that are happening counter to that. And guys, if you go to a protest for the you-know-what, whether it's in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, you see a guy with a kippah standing, talking, and 80% of the people in the audience are not with kippot. But then you talk to them, and you realize these people are connected to Hashem. And then you realize, like today, I'm on Twitter, I posted a video of Rabbi Anava, I sent it to people like activists in Israel who are, these people, again, they probably voted for Meretz and Labor and Yesh Atid and I don't know, whomever. Maybe, at best, Moshe Feiglin because of his stances on, marijuana legalization. You know what I mean? Like, or because they liked how he gave that show host massage. You know what I mean? Like, but I'll tell you guys, there is unity. There is unity happening in Israel, and Hashem finds the most interesting ways to unite Jews. Sometimes usually it's by way of, unfortunately, tragedy. When we had the three boys, that whole situation in Hebron, this is back in 2015, 2014, when they were taken, and I think Shimon Peres, when he was alive, said he hasn't seen this much unity in Israel since, like, the founding of the state, right? Since the Jurassic era. But unfortunately, stuff like that, but also in this situation, again, we have people who are, and it doesn't matter if you're quote unquote Shomer Shabbat or kosher or whatever it is, daven 3 times a day and learn Torah. It matters whether you're connected to the source, and you can be not doing any of those things and have a healthy neshama and be connected to the source, my friends. And this is something I even noticed before this whole situation came about. Before March 2020, I noticed this, and I didn't have the language to verbalize it. I may not even still have the language to verbalize it. But this is something that Rav Kook wrote about. Unfortunately, the Rav Kook community also kind of bought in. Much of the community, not all of it, bought into the narrative, and I always say, I wonder if Rav Kook was alive today, what would he say to his people? What would he say to the people who are sitting in Merkaz Rav? All my friends, I have friends that are saying, if the Rebbe was alive, if the Baal Shem was alive today, he'd probably also say to take whatever. Or they say, these big people in Chabad, the big people, not the Bachrim, not the plebs in Chabad, but the big. They say if the Rebbe was alive today, he'd probably say, go get the you-know-what. First of all, how the heck can you say that? Second of all, like, are you a Navi? Do you know? Second of all, if the Rebbe was alive today, just like if Rav Kook was alive today, and just like if every other tzaddik was alive today, the Baba Sali, whomever else, if they were alive today, my friends, the world, not just the Jewish world, but the entire world, Olam, Kol Alam would be completely different. There would be emes in the world. There would be color in the world, just like me and Ephraim like to talk about. When it seems like, when the Lubavitcher Rebbe passed away, it seems like all of the color in the world went away. 1994. You could look at what was going on in the world. It seems like the color went away, my friends. And so, if you're saying if this person was alive today, we wouldn't even need to take it. We wouldn't even be in this situation because the world would be in a completely different place. We wouldn't even have the problem of Schmeitz and Schmab and George Tsuris and whomever else, guys. Mousy, Mister. I call him Mister, or just Mousy. He's just Mousy. He's like a little freaking. He's a rat. Okay, to me, my friends, the world would not have been this. We wouldn't get to this position, to this place. But guys, I'll tell you something. Unity is coming for the Jewish people, and I really hope. And I said in the previous attempt, the first attempt of this video, and I said that I hope that the people who are sleeping, who are merely sleeping because of ego, not because of they lack information, but because actually of ego, and they're so intelligent and they just can't admit it to themselves that maybe they're wrong. Maybe that they're wrong. Whether the people have kippah and no kippah, yes kippah. I really hope that they wake up sooner than later, guys, because again, Rabbi Nava said, his grandmother left Germany in 1937. Her friends thought they were conspiracy theorists. 1937, not in 1931, 32, 37. People don't understand that there's things that happen, 15-year trajectory, before you even get to Has v'Shalom, where, okay? Before you even get to the place where you get to, physically, okay? There's a whole thing there's a whole song and dance that needs to happen, complete with propaganda, complete with alienation of people, complete with pitting people against each other, complete with labeling people, complete with, ostracization, insults, coercions, forcing, whatever it is. There's a whole playbook that happens, whole trajectory of 10 years, 15 years. Today it could be 5 years, guys. But I really hope that people wake up to that sooner or later. I really hope that people, see that there's no such thing anymore as a reputable source. All there is the emes, and you got to get the emes wherever you can find it. If you can find it on the Substack of a lawyer who's suing the Fada, who are asking the court to let them wait until 2076 to release all of the Schmeiser documents. If you have to go on the Substack blog of this lawyer, obscure Substack blog, to find the court docket of the lawsuit and the ensuing conversations, and you have to see that as emes, even if it's not reported by even one news source and only a bunch of sparse people on Twitter, then that's what you have to look at, my friends, and not ShmiNN and MSLSD and Schmucks News and News Minimum, I like to call them now, because they're also a bunch of traitors. Okay, if you're listening, anybody work at Newsmin, News Schmacks, yeah, you know what you did. Okay. I don't have to say it. People know what they did or what they didn't do. Let's put it that way, guys. Okay. I'm a Soviet citizen. Where I come from, if you told somebody a bunch of news and they said, well, if it wasn't reported in Izvestia or in Pravda, then it's not reputable. My friends, you know how many reputable, real things happen that weren't reported by reputable news sources? Okay? But if you talk today to dissidents, like Natan Sharansky and other people who went through these things, they'll tell you what actually happened, the emes of what actually happened, which is not reported by a reputable news source. And if it was reported, it was reported, as a manipulation and to make the people who are talking about it look like the enemy, as opposed to the victims, right? Guys, we've seen this before. At least I have. I know people that have, and people get offended. Again, I spoke about this yesterday. People get offended. They get offended because they don't understand. They don't have a grasp of the history of these trajectories, of these patterns. They don't understand. All they know is that in Russian we call the slogan, the lozung, in Russian, the slogan. They know the cute slogans, never again, and they see the the videos of how world leaders are taken to Yad Vashem, and we feel so bad, and we make so much money from this museum, and then we have endowments, and we have dinners, and we have talks, and we have ta la 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 la. What do you have? What do you know? You know nothing. Do you watch History Channel specials about, not about 1940 or 41, watch History Channels about 1931, about 1929, about 1930, about 1928, about the gerbil guy, how he started spinning, how things began, innocuous conversations, innocuous ideas, tick-tock, little things here and there, my friends. But this time around, we're not going to have a jackboot, at least not yet, the jackboots and whatever. Everybody is going to have nice voices and nice smiles and lab coats and, your medical insurance card, okay? And nice advertisements and nice signs and friendly service and nice smiles, and everybody's going to go willingly this time around, guys. Everybody's going to, willingly, okay? Yeah, they're afraid to lose their job because their job is paying them $100,000, $150,000, $200,000. What am I going to do? I have to keep my lifestyle up. My lifestyle, not my life, not my physical life, my lifestyle. My friends, people are willing to have injuries, snide effects, because they want to uphold lifestyle. You got to be some pardon my language, guys, you got to be some dumbasses. If I told a family friend, if you're doing this because you want to go on a trip, in Russian I'm going to say the acronym for the word that I'm not going to say. You're a DB, not debil. You're a DB. If you're taking something into your arm, into your body, all because you want to be able to travel, I have no words for you. If you claim that it's for health, whatever it is, even though it's not, that's one thing. But if you're telling me that you want to go here and there and everywhere and fly on a kite and go whatever, my friends, I don't know if you know this. People who are in a war don't get to go on vacations. You're in a war. You're in a war. You're in Normandy right now. Did the people in Normandy, the guys who landed on the beach, Omaha beach, say, well, I want to be able to go to Costa Rica or Aruba? You're in a war. Somebody's shooting at you. You idiot. And you want to go to Costa Rica and you want to go to Caribbean islands, all-inclusive resort. Somebody is shooting at you. It's not a gun. It's a needle. Someone is shooting at you with propaganda and needles. You're being held down under, you see this? Under this. You're like in the Maginot Line over here. You understand? My friends, I apologize. I went off on a little tangent, but the point is, my original point is that, throughout all of this, what I'm describing, there's a lot of unity that's happening. And I hope that it grows. I hope that people like, Dr. Malone and other people like him reach out to rabbis in Tzfat and rabbis in Jerusalem and start talking to each other. Because everybody has the same goal and mission and understanding and lens. Yeah, my friend says, I left a $77,000 a year job. The balagan is not worth it because they make my life, take my life if you give them an inch. Yeah, guys, like I said, if you give these people stop when you stop complying. You see, they're not putting a gun to your head. They're not. They haven't put a gun to your head. They're doing everything under the guise of legitimacy. Now, today, we find out that OSHA is not allowed. Basically, they're not enforcing stuff for private businesses, right? So, anybody who fires you guys, anybody who fires you for not doing X, Y, and Z, you can take them to court, and their crap will not stand up in court. The thing is, they know that who wants to go through this whole legal battle. But my friends, we have to. We're in a war. We have no choice. This is a war. You're in a war. You're in Normandy. You're the paratrooper who landed in the middle of France, in the middle of nowhere, and you don't know what's flying, and there might be a sniper somewhere, or I don't know. You don't know what's going on. You're in a war. You can't go on vacation. You can't go to Costa Rica. People tell me, oh, but you can't travel. Tzvi. Do I look like I care? I'm in a war. I, okay, and even so, I can travel, guys. I have an Israeli passport. My family were asking me 2010 when I made Aliyah, why do you need an Israeli passport? Why do you need one? What do you need a second? You want to get an Israeli bank account? You want to deal with all the bureaucracy? I was like, I don't know why. I don't know. Just in case. And they're like, just in case what? I don't know. Just in case. 10 years later, 11 years later, here's the case. Case number 1. Case A through Z. My friends. But in the war, people who have the same cause have to unite. And it doesn't matter if they're wearing a kippah, not a kippah, no Shabbos, yes Shabbos, no kosher, yes kosher, sheitl, no sheitl, no head covering. It doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter, guys. At some point, we're gonna realize when, like Rabbi Nava said, when we're gonna have to buy, we're gonna see we can't even buy seeds to plant because there's a food shortage. We have to grow our own food. Then maybe the people who are, maybe they'll wake up. Zat Hashem. When they wake up, they'll see that Hashem. All we have to cling to is Hashem, and not any of these institutions, not Fada, not the Who, not the Siddiq, not the Siddiq, not the Fada, not the Who, okay, not these rabbis who are screaming, "What's the shaila? Come on, just take it. What's the shaila?" Ugh, this guy. I'm like debating. Should I like feel bad for the guy, or should I smack him? Should I drive all the way to where he lives? I know, and it just, like you guys ever see Stewie Griffin when he drives to Will Ferrell's house and he gets up on a ladder and just punches him in the face? That's what I want to do with this guy, or slap him, just once, not anything horrible, just wake him up, like I said today, guys. I once saw a comedian. I'm gonna end with this. I once saw a comedian. He was like, I'm not a violent guy. He was talking about like, men and women and relationships. He's like, don't get me wrong. He's like, I would never hit a woman. I would never hit my wife or girlfriend, but I will shake the crap out of her. I was saying, like, sometimes I just want to shake some of you people. I want to grab you. If you guys ever seen the movie Naked Gun, Leslie Nielsen's character, Frank, he just grabs his girlfriend and he just like shakes her. You see like the hair flying around, like shakes her. I want to take you and shake you. And if you still don't wake up, I'll keep shaking you, slap you around. My friends, I don't know. I just don't know. But listen, there's more unity than we see, than we know. Zat Hashem, and we can all give hizuk to each other. And maybe when people see that there's unity, they'll understand that there's something special going on here. And Zat Hashem, they'll wake up and they'll realize what's going on sooner than later. And these people are going to be defeated. These demigods, the ones who think they're God, who don't believe in God. And we know they don't believe in God. You can watch the footage, whether it's the Tsuris guy on 60 Minutes, who said he doesn't believe in God, whether it's the Mousy guy, who won the Humanist of the Year award, Humanist Society, whatever you call it. He actually did. You can look this up. Whether it's the Schmates guy or the this Santa Claus Schmab guy from the World Uneconomic Forum. My friends, these people are not God, and they're soon going to learn the power of God, Zrat Hashem. And whether we're religious or secular, we're going to show it to them. We're going to help God show Himself to them. Anyway, guys, all right. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Shabbat Shalom.